I'm Amanda Elaine. I'm an Amica Lead Pro educator, and today I am here with Lainey, and we are going to be demonstrating some editorial style vibes with braids that you can use behind the chair or for your own personal editorial looks. So in Amica, we like to experiment with hair. We work on all hair textures. So I'm going to demonstrate how to use her curly texture to get kind of like a wispy effect in the front, leaving her natural baby hairs down. I've already prepped with a few little detailed cornrows here, and I'm going to show you the figure 8 braid. Okay? Before I get into how I would prep the hair for manageability and to help with your dexterity, I just want to touch on, maybe some of you guys have seen the figure 8 braid demonstrated by us before. It is definitely one of our most popular braids from our viral braid curriculum. It's the one that everybody wants to see, and it's been viral a few times. But I'm going to show you today how to use it feeding in from only one side. So basically, for the entire look, I'm going to sweep her hair nice and clean from the side like this. And I'm going to feed in just from one side of the braid and braid down her hair.
Awesome. Okay. How would you describe her hair texture?
I would describe her hair texture as like 3B. She has a good mix, actually. Her underneath is a little bit more coily. This is pretty common.
Adorable.
A lot of people have a mix of textures. I've also been stretching and elongating her curls by pre-brushing, making sure that we're nice and detangled. And I ran a little bit of Supernova through her hair already, just to add some moisture. But I want to show you how I'm going to apply that in her hair.
Awesome.
So, one of the biggest things I think that can be an impediment to getting the hand motions correct with braiding is making sure that the hair is not so all over the place. You really want to prepare yourself for success with the sectioning. And for a lot of hair types, everything from straight and fine to thick and curly, that means adding a little bit of water and a moisturizing product. So I'm going to go in here. I like this kind of like airy texture, and we went and refined her curls a little bit in the front. So I'm mostly going to focus on the areas where I'm going to be doing the slicking and where I'm going to be braiding. All right? So I'm going to go with a little bit of water. Why water? Because that's going to help elongate her curls, moisturize them, and keep the hair from tangling while I'm working through. That way I can get the easiest manageability. It kind of compresses the hair texture a little bit. You can see her hair shrinking down just a little bit and elongating as I am spraying the water. Then I'm going to follow it with a little bit of Supernova. This is a shine glossing. And then this one is Curl Corp's Enhancing Gel. And I'm actually going to cocktail the two together, but I'm going to apply and layer this and then this.
Cute.
So let's get into Supernova first. I like Supernova for shine. You can see that it's not like super emollient. It can work on a bunch of different hair types, but it's gonna be enough that I can get some shine going through. I'm gonna apply my products always if I'm gonna be doing like a directed hairstyle in the direction that I am moving it. So you see, just with like some purposeful intent, I'm using my fingers to push through that lightly dampened hair because I don't wanna flatten all of her texture. I just wanna get it manageable. So especially in her like more coily, curly pieces underneath, I'm just gonna work this through. I'm leaving out that front area where I've already had some texture in place, right? So I'm feeling like this is pretty detangled now. So I'm gonna follow up with a Curl Corp's Defining Gel. So what I like about this gel is that it has soy protein, so it's gonna be beneficial for the hair. And you can see the consistency as I pour it from the bottle. It's not a stiff finishing gel. I'd like to think of it more as like plumping and holding the hair, embracing the hair, right? Instead of adding a lot of like hard, crunchy definition. This is really just gonna allow me to shape and manipulate her curls. You can see already, like you saw that hair in the beginning, how it was like a little bit harder to get through. This is really setting me up for the most success.
Shelby says Supernova is a miracle worker.
It is. And it's beneficial too, you know, it has a lot of moisture to it. It has sea buckthorn berry. So you're putting in all those like omega fatty acids and vitamin C into the hair, which is gonna improve elasticity and shine over time. Right.
Amanda, we didn't tell everyone where we are.
Oh, we're in Premier Orlando. Not much of a more exciting place to be right now, actually.
Exactly. So. Great to be back.
It is.
Awesome. For those tuning in, we'd really love to hear your questions. Please chime in the comments, and I will make sure that Amanda hears your questions, comments, feedback as we're going along. I love how Ladies Texture has evolved.
Yes. And so another thing that I didn't really touch on about the enhancing gel is that it has oat peptides. So that's going to help that plumping action too. So you can already see her curls are kind of like elongated from the water, but more groups together than they were before. And we haven't diffused or anything else. So I'm feeling pretty satisfied with how things are looking right now.
And I'm going to show off the 2
Absolutely.
cornrows that you did.
And this is, even though this is the side that I'm going to be directing the figure 8 to, I do want to make sure that I give it a little bit of love and attention, add some moisture in here so that it's shiny and matches up with the rest of the texture of her hair. Okay.
I love these braids. Awesome.
So let's talk about the hand positioning that will give you the most success for doing the figure 8 braid. If you're braiding like this, you're going to lose tension. You see my body is all kinds of stressed out, my shoulders, my hands, and it's hard for me to really keep the tension that makes the braid pretty, right?
Can you do that again?
Yes. All right? So
Okay.
when you put your pinkies down towards the head and your thumb and index finger up, you're going to get a lot more leverage. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to leave some volume in her little front section here. So I'm going to start the figure 8 braid as it's always started. Just some nice clean sections with my fingers with 2 stationary strands. So these 2 strands never have anything added to them. They stay just as they are. So I'm kind of testing for length here because I want to make sure I have enough length in the 2 stationary strands that I don't run out of hair. And I'm going to put my pinkies towards the head, right? Like this. So you see this gives me, I'm being gentle with her, I promise, but it gives me some leverage. I have my index finger and my thumb free so that I can pick up hair. And that's how we're going to incorporate our 3rd strand. So with the figure 8 braid, it's 2 stationary strands and 1 traveling strand that we add to from the scalp and wraps around like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a small section. You can do chunkier sections if you want, but the smaller, the more detailed, from this side of her head. I do have a grooming brush here. If I really want to sleek this side, I can just comb through and feed that between my index finger and thumb. So that traveling strand is always going to be between my index finger and thumb. If you know that, then you'll never get confused about which piece is doing that figure 8 motion. I'm going to reposition my hand with my pinky down. And to make the figure 8 motion of that traveling strand, I'm going to tip my hand up towards the ceiling. See how that just brings it over? Because this whole braid is over under. I'm going to go under and pinch between my index finger and thumb. I'm just detangling as I go. Now remember when I told you this braid is going to be a little bit different because the traditional figure 8 we'd pick up from both sides. This one I'm only going to pick up from the deep side of her head.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm going to reposition my hands with my pinkies down. Lots of tension there. You can see I really am in control of the braid. Then I'm going to flip my hand up towards the ceiling. See how that brings it over? First was under, now it's over. I'm going to go under and pinch between my index finger and thumb. Don't need to be speedy to win this race. Take your time, use hand control, use the correct positioning. It is worth it. So I'm going all the way from her hairline, just making sure I'm clearing the hairline. I'm not too concerned. I would like this stuff to be wispy and just shiny and healthy looking. I'm feeding it between my index finger and thumb. Therefore, I know this piece that is just kind of hanging here is what I'm going to reposition my hand on. Then I'm going to flip my palm up towards the ceiling and go under and grab between my index finger and thumb. You can already start to see that braid taking shape right there.
It seems like the detangling and really making sure you have clean sections between each is really important for manageability.
Absolutely.
I think that's where a lot of people get.
And so you can really see that definition. If you choose to go back later and make something more or less like textured or editorial, that's fine. But you really want to start with a good foundation so that you know underneath that there's solid work and good visibility. So I'm going to put my hand up towards the ceiling. That brings the strand over. I'm going to go under and grab.
Awesome. Let us know in the chat if you are copying what Amanda's putting out there.
Yeah. Is everybody picking up what I'm putting down? So I'm just going through and sleeking this into my hand. And you can see I'm starting to like direct everything just with my hand. I'm not really doing too much otherwise. I'm pulling everything from this side and I'm starting to get it really close to the right because I want it to finish kind of sitting
Off
on her
that
right
side.
shoulder, right? So I'm just combing and I'm just picking up from the left, flipping my hand up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna go under and pinch between my index finger and thumb. Here's a little tip too. If I really want to keep the braid compacted and detailed as I go around the occipital bone and the round on her head, I can save picking up hair and make a pass just by doing the same motion of flipping my hand up towards the ceiling, going under and pinching. And then instead of picking up hair here where I normally would, I'm gonna reposition my hand, get lots of tension in there. So I just scooted it up like an accordion. Flip my hand, go under and grab.
Gabby says, I'm picking it up. You're doing amazing.
Yay!
Shelby says it's looking dope already. And Shelby, I saw your question earlier about cocktailing. We'll get to that after the braid.
Yep. So I'm gonna flip my hand up towards the ceiling, go under and pinch. Now I'm ready to add. I'm gonna actually add a little bit more water. I know those products are in there, but this is part of that manageability, right? Like hair is much more approachable, even if it's straight and fine, if it's grouped together when braiding. That's why braiding aids and light hold gels and things like that are really ideal.
I feel like the water reactivates the products a bit too.
It absolutely does. That's one of the best things. Because of those oat peptides and in our defining cream, we have tapioca starch. Both of those things are water soluble if you want to wash it out with a good shampoo. And you can just add water the next day when you want to refresh your curls and squeeze it in.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the curl products and the ingredients that you described is that they actually lock in moisture but prevent frizz.
Yep. Yeah, you can see the texture that I have on top of her hair is intentional, but the side, without any like over exaggeration, I could go in with my grooming brush and make it, but it's pretty sleek. Repositioning my hand, flipping my palm up towards the ceiling, going under and pinching. I'm just grabbing her hair from the hairline, scooping it and feeding it right between my index finger and thumb. Okay. I'm gonna reposition my hand. I know this is the correct strand to grab because it's not between my index finger and thumb. That's why the proper positioning is really ideal. Then you know always. There's never a question of which strand to pick up. I know it's this one. Okay. Remember, I'm not picking up on the right side, so I'm just gonna flip over, go under and grab, and just continuing this.
And I see you're starting to move farther to the right side of her head. So you can see
this is the dead center of her head, and that's part of the reason I'm only picking up over here. I already have my little detail braids, but I really want this braid to finish and sit on her shoulder on this side. I'm gonna put a bit more Supernova just here in the back of the hand. That's like a great way to be able to grab product if I don't want to take my hand out of the hair. The tension is what's holding this braid together. So I'm gonna apply it here, run this through her hair, just cleaning up my sections, coming from that hairline again. Feeding between my index finger and thumb. I'm going to flip my palm up towards the ceiling. Go under and grab. Just a little bit. Perfect. Repositioning. This time to keep it compact because I'm coming around that occipital bone. Bone. Hey guys, welcome to Cosmetology School. Yeah. I'm going to flip back up towards the ceiling. Under and grab. I'm not going to feed in hair this time. Just going to kind of go through and detangle as I go. It's that part about being nice and intentional, right? Flip my palm up towards the ceiling. Grab. Reposition, holding nice tension. Flip my palm up, go under and pinch. Now I'm going to feed in more hair right here.
Oh my gosh, this is looking amazing.
Okay.
Everyone watching, drop us a note in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to see this kind of like global audience come together. And drop any outstanding questions in as Amanda starts to finish up the braid.
So I'm just repeating that motion. I have her last little bit of hair here by the nape. So I'm going to grab all of this. I don't want to put too much tension on her baby hairs. I actually rather like the look of them, so I'm going to comb them out with my finger. Just make sure I don't have any stragglers. And I'm going to finish the braid. So people ask, when I'm coming off scalp, what do I do? First, I'm going to say a little bit more moisture. I'm rehydrating those products. And when I come off scalp, I'm going to just turn this right into a 3-strand braid. So you notice my hand positioning is now under instead of over. And I'm just going to braid this tightly, just in a regular 3-strand braid like this. This will help us in being able to hide the tail end of that hair. Okay?
Love that. We have Maria from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Maria.
Deirdre from Cape Town, South Africa.
Wow.
Deirdre might get the farthest from us award.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And Shelby from Vancouver. I know you, Shelby. Good to see you. Cheyenne from Indianapolis. Thank you all so much for tuning in and engaging. Kathy from Illinois.
So here's something, this is just a standard little elastic, but I know whenever I want to tuck something up, this is a really like robust braid, so I'm going to hide my tail in here, but rather than using a bunch of pins to secure, especially when you have a texture like this that tends to grip onto itself, I'm actually just going to take the tail end, holding my elastic, and roll this up like this.
Oh my God. You're doing something cool.
Okay. And I'm going to tuck this behind the braid.
Oh, wow. I just had a wow moment.
Nice and secure.
That is awesome. Wait, can you even see that? That's crazy.
A little bit, but that's where a hairpin comes in handy, right?
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
So now let's come around to the front maybe and take a look at volume. This is really important, guys. Whenever you execute any kind of look, you need to see how it looks from all angles, because it might look great to you standing behind her, but then whenever you come around to the side, you want to make sure that it's equally as attractive and appealing.
So Shelby's question about cocktailing was with the curl cord defining enhancing gel and Supernova. Do you always layer, or do you ever mix them in your palm?
Depending on how much if I want to use an equal amount of both product, I'll cocktail it in my palm. If I really want to see how their hair is reacted to it, how much it drinks up, how thirsty it is, I'll put on one product and follow by the other. I'll usually put whatever my main concern is. In this instance, her hair is pretty healthy, so I wanted to add shine and then hold secondary. If I wanted hold, I would apply that first and then the shine secondary.
Got it.
Right?
Yep.
Whatever the main thing is that I'm trying to address, that's the product I'm layering on first.
This looks amazing, Amanda. Tons of great feedback. Everyone is freaking. We're getting lots of the emoji with the head blowing up.
So I'm just going to kind of like gently, I'm not trying to create chaos, but I'm like rubbing a little bit of her baby hairs free, checking the top. I'm going to actually use a little bit of Headstrong hairspray. So this is an excellent finishing hairspray. This finishing hairspray can really, you want to use it at the end, but it's seriously going to give a lot of definition. So you could use little setting clips. I don't have those handy. I'm going to use my hands. So I'm going to comb through with my fingers, pinch some places that I'd like some definition, spray the Headstrong, and follow up. I'm going to pinch where I want some definition and height. I'm just kind of combing through. You can see I'm just enhancing that little like wave pattern that she already has there. Teeny many little flyaways. I have a little detailing brush right here. I'm just gonna get by the braids. I love the texture on top, but you want to keep like the braids looking nice and smooth, right?
Mm-hmm. And you really don't see that hair tucked away. That's pretty phenomenal.
Of course, when we're all finished, I'm going to secure it with a pin just to be sure. You know, you don't want to let her go about maybe it come out. But that's like a way, instead of having a bunch of free ends, to group them together so that it's more manageable to hide. I'm going to go in here, just a little bit of Headstrong hairspray on my little detailing grooming brush right here. I'm spraying it into the brush rather than on her hair because it's a stronghold hairspray. And I don't want to get like an overwhelming amount of product. You see how just
Oh,
that
wow.
little bit
That was amazing.
cleans it right up?
Yeah.
A little bit of flyaway texture.
Wow.
Spraying the headstrong and just combing. One thing that I will say is just comb where there is something to comb. Don't worry about getting it all the way to the braid. If there's something right here, I don't need to comb all the way to here because what's going to happen if I do is I'm going to create a big lump of excess hair.
Gotcha.
I'm just combing where it needs to
Lightly.
be blended.
We're about at time, Amanda. Is there a new
Alright.
product you want to show?
Oh yes, actually, we have a new product launching called Top Gloss. I've personally been asking for this for my entire relationship with Amika, and I know many of you have too because I talk to you, my friends and clients, and this is a shine spray. It's gonna have all the same benefits with sea buckthorn berry, all those omega fatty acids, and vitamins for the hair, but check this out, ready? I'm gonna always give a little bit of shine line on there.
Wow.
This also dries super clean. It's not oily. It can be used on any hair texture. I can highlight the little waves and stuff where we have put our hairspray for hold, just to kind of rehydrate and add a little bit of definition back in there, right?
Okay, yeah, you saw it really pop there on the top. On the side, you already had a lot of shine from
Yes.
Supernova. This
Yeah.
is awesome. This is launching November 1st in the US and Canada. Should be following shortly globally, and
I really like it for braids too, just to like shine everything up.
it's got that great Amika scent.
Perfect.
So fun. Awesome look. Let's get one final look at this hair. Yes. There's your figure 8 braid. Awesome.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys.